So I put this girl last here.
Spend some time with the dead.
On demand almost. We'd be like, hey, can you like touch the duck or make it go off? And it would just start lighting up and going crazy.
Why should we be afraid of you?
Hello and welcome to What Goes Bump the Night. I'm Riley Clark, and alongside me today is
Trevor Jensen.
And our special guests tonight, Frankie and Amy from Everything is Scary podcast.
Hello.
Representing the graveyard shift. Ow! Where my dog's at? Yeah, that was cool. We're trying to do something with StreamYard soon on the other podcast I work for, but that's cool. I like that you guys have like commercials beforehand. I never seen that before. That's super cool.
Yeah, Riley has some very advanced technical knowledge that I'm not privy to yet. So
yeah, we have to get some weird sponsorships. I wonder if Raid Shadow Legends will sponsor us. They sponsor everybody.
That would be really freaking cool to have
need
a
that.
game sponsor.
that's what I'm saying.
To
Like,
be honest.
if I get a paycheck from it too, like that sounds even sweeter. But
Yeah,
like,
even if it's like a few 5 cents, I want to know that this was paid for some bullshit like mobile game. I want
just
that.
pay my podcasting dues and I'm happy.
Yeah, pay that bandwidth
we
fee.
haven't made any money off Dubby, but we have a new flavor today. It's like
Okay.
blue raspberry.
Why is it so
That we-
hard to get things like spun correctly in frame? I hate it.
The mirroring of these
Little tart,
things do.
but it ain't bad.
Little tart.
But anyways, codes down below. So, Amy, Frankie, what
Hi.
would you say
So-
your podcast is about?
Well, let's see. I'll let Amy take this first because technically everything is scary is one part of the podcast. So Amy, you can give that spiel.
Yeah, the way this was created, we have a main podcast, Everything is Scary, and that is me and my buddies Kyle and Jen. And we basically cover just all kinds of horror movies. We cover video games, we cover books, things like that. But at one point, Jen was having a baby. Kyle was busy, so we had some downtime. And at one point, Frank just sort of reached out and said, "Hey, Amy, do you want to do something?"
Well, that's because I was just brought on as like the social media manager because they wanted to like actually create Everything is Scary podcast Instagram. And Amy had just been brought on. So it's like, we have some time to kill, Amy. Like, there's going to be no content for at least like a month or so while Kyle's on tour and Jen's, being a mom. So we had to figure something out.
Right on. Well, that's really cool that you're able to like break the podcast up and all kind of be able to do your own thing still.
Yeah.
And have, two different shows be one show. That's pretty cool, actually.
Right.
It's kind of like we've
tickled
like,
the idea of like doing true crime as like a part, like, you know what I mean? Like as like a partner podcast. But I was like, man, I just love talking about true crime already enough.
I mean, you should just do it, man. Like if it's something you want to do it.
That's the thing. It was such a commitment to do like a second podcast on top of this when we're already dedicating so much time to this.
But if you ever want to talk true crime, like, I'm your girl. My dad was a prosecutor and he taught me early.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
So I've noticed your guys' podcast, it's mostly on like Instagram Live, right?
That's where we primarily host the graveyard shift just because that's the easiest thing for me to do with my current setup. Okay. So until I'm able to get like I said, my own place, fix my setup, it's gonna be that way. I'd want to either transition to YouTube or what you guys are doing here. But for now, Instagram Live seems to be the easiest one me and her can both do.
Right.
Oh, that's better.
It is pretty accessible. It saves everything on your page. So
yeah.
I also fear change, so we haven't done it.
I don't need to edit a goddamn thing when we do it that way because we have a formula down and it works.
Man,
that's impressive.
if we didn't
We're
have
very
so
Ed
many,
Wood
like,
about it. One shot
Yeah.
is enough.
I
Basically.
love that. I wish that was as good as they got for us, but I mean, like, we can kind of.
yeah, it takes me about 15 minutes to get an episode like fully edited from like audio to releasing it on Spotify
Yeah.
and everything.
Mhm.
Well, y'all have to go through like hours of footage and stuff to put anything together just to have a 15-minute video. Us is just like, we watched a movie. What do you remember about it? And then we go for it. In some
Yeah,
cases, I forget to watch the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, what movies have you watched recently?
Okay. Actually, since we just entered our next theme month, which is March of the Machines, we watched two awesome movies. We started with a classic, The Terminator, and the sequel to a movie we watched last month, Nemesis. And we watched Nemesis 2.
Nebula.
Nemesis 2, Nebula. Man, that movie was so fucking cool.
Really? I've
Yeah,
never
it
heard
was-
of it, honestly.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. either.
So basically it's maybe you could tell with the director, but essentially these are like these almost like cyberpunk movies where it's like
Ooh.
everyone's like part
Cyberpunk
machine.
Terminator knockoffs.
Yeah,
and-
cyberpunk Terminator knockoffs,
I
basically.
love that.
So you got like a buff like gladiator Amazon chick throwing like grenades and like with a sawed-off shotgun at like this dude in a robot suit for like 30 minutes. It's fucking the coolest shit you've ever seen.
That is
I'm
pretty
also
cool.
kind of a big fan of, for better or worse, international knockoffs of like huge, generally Hollywood productions, like your Terminators, your RoboCops. When something big like that comes out, like Aliens, there is
Yeah.
generally a plethora of just shoddy knockoffs that sometimes are way more fun than they have a right to be.
Well,
and-
another
yeah.
good example, Amy, Lily Cat was an alien like homage almost, and that was an anime movie. That was an all animated feature, and that one was rad as fuck, and that was like an alien knockoff.
Oh, hardcore, but so good.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
no, that
just
movie
fun
was
to
cool.
find those.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
really
that.
cool with a decent English voice cast, which you rarely get with those anime movies from the 80s.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, what is the anime movie that I like? I think it's Akira.
Akira, that's a classic.
Yeah,
Yep.
that one was one of my favorites growing up. Speaking of anime, actually, I'm about to get like a whole sleeve done on the rest of this.
Oh,
arm
shit.
with all anime and whatnot. So it's like, it's
Oh, hell
finally
yeah.
gonna happen.
Aw.
Yeah,
I'm
we've
super
done a
excited.
handful of anime movies here. We did the Vampire Hunter D movies.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which are badass. We did Wicked City, which is an awesome anime feature about this.
We did
basically,
Bao.
yeah, Bao was super cool. It was like a
Yep.
biomutant movie. We did what is it? Demon Hunter, which was like again mutants.
Mm.
Devilman. We did Devilman.
Devilman's good. I'll say any Studio Ghibli movie too is really good.
So far, we haven't found one
yeah,
that's
of
scary
course.
enough.
Yeah,
I-
we want to go at least a little
Ooh.
bonkers, and Frank knows that I'm a pretty devoted gore hound.
Yeah.
So usually the way he'll introduce an anime to me is, "Don't worry, Amy, it's as bloody as you want it to be."
Yeah, I was like,
Right.
here's the cover. It's got like a
Ninja the
cyborg skeleton eating a person. You're gonna like this movie, Amy.
Yeah, like
Okay.
a recommendation I have for a show is it's called Elfin Lied.
Elfin, that's
It's an
cool.
older one, yeah,
Ooh.
and like a
Ooh,
lady has
wee.
like telekinetic powers and like rips people in half and shit. It's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
That one
It
is
fills your gore
brutal.
fantasy for sure.
Oh my god, that one is so brutal. It's one
I
of
love
those that it's amazing. It's so well done, but because I love my friends, I will not tell them about it.
I know.
True.
I'll say if I
I-
want people to like actually like respect me instead of like, oh, he's a full weeb. It's like, no, I've seen all the good ones.
There was this
I mean, there's
movie
certain
watched-
ones that are just cult classics, so you
Oh, yeah.
gotta at least give them like the history of stuff. I'm trying to think if I got a decent horror anime recommendation actually, since we're on topic. Boogie Pop Phantom, weird name, solid
That's a
horror
really
series,
weird name.
isn't it? Well, essentially, the whole idea of the naming convention is that essentially there's a boogeyman, like, just offing people in the city. But since it's like 90s Japan, they just gave it that like 90s ass name of Boogie Pop. That's like, it's a very Japanese thing.
It's got to have some flair. Like, you got to
Yeah. But it's super cool. It's like shot all like, it's like an anime that looks like it's filmed in sepia tone. And like, it's just
Oh.
really eerie. Like, everything looks like a dream. It's really cool. I recommend looking that one up. But But yeah, that one just gives you the ookies, just because like it's so unsettling, and it's a mystery series too.
Right.
So it's never quite clear what actually is causing anything until the very, very end.
I haven't seen any good ones recently, and like I can't. The worst part is I've seen like thousands of animes at this point. So
Yeah.
it's like I can't think of any good like horror ones because it's usually like the isekais or like like
Yeah.
transfer to another world ones that are huge right now. So it's like seen all those. Now I can't remember
Corpse
anything
Party,
I've seen
Tortured
before.
Souls.
Yeah,
Corpse Party Soul is a good one.
Yeah,
yeah,
if you want to lose some friends, you put that one on.
yeah. The Promised Neverland is also pretty good. Kind of fucked
That's a
up,
good one.
but good. And then the other one, oh, what is it? Maiden Abyss.
Yeah, Made in Abyss.
Yeah, say that one's good. Like when you get deeper into it, it's fucked
Yeah.
up.
Oh, there's some other good ones like what is it? Blood Plus is a good one. That's
Yep.
that's a much older one. I saw that in high school.
Isn't that the one with like the giant bunnies that like kill people? It's at one part. I'm pretty sure. Like it's
I
either
think
Blood
so.
Plus or it's like something with like a plus in the name of the anime.
Yeah, it's definitely part of that. I know exactly which one you're talking about. That shit is fucked, but it's really cool. It's like, yeah, Amy. So basically, it's these like Godzilla-sized like bunny rabbit looking things that are basically like just like grabbing people like they're like jelly beans and just like eating them in crazy ways. Like one just like skewers like 9 people and just like eats it like a cartoon. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. I've seen all of these. I loved it too.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, this is why I like Frank because he fills in a lot of gaps for me.
Yeah.
And I do the same for him because.
Well, you have like the deep sea knowledge. I just have the who gives a fuck knowledge.
I mean, I'd say my knowledge.
I don't watch anime, so I'm totally no idea.
Yeah, I do watch it, not the level that Frank does. And
no, you don't have a problem.
Frank has been showing me like a lot of kaiju movies, a lot of anime, and then I will make him watch the horrible things that I like. It's like, okay, we can do this anime, but we got to do Tokyo Gore Police.
Oh yeah, well, I love Tokyo Gore Police. I still think Machine Girl's a little bit better, but it's still a good one.
Some of these names that you guys are throwing at me, I've never heard
We're
of.
just saying shit.
Just like, this is crazy.
We'll make you a list.
Yeah, I realize that like when me and Amy start going, we'll just start saying shit that we've watched.
See, that's why when Frank and I do like the Instagram show, we already have a flow. Like even when we just have just meetings, like what should we?
Oh yeah, when we have meetings, sometimes we try not to do this show. We're like, we got to cut this meeting off. We can't be talking for an hour more.
Yeah, so
we do that quite frequently.
Lovely chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been times where we'll sit down and be like, okay, we're gonna read this story, and then we read it, and then we talk about it for a little bit, and then we're like, I don't know if this is the right story, and then
we'll start talking about ghost things for like 2 hours, and we'll be like, oh, we should probably record
this. That's basically what happens. We'll be like, we'll be like, okay, do you want to watch this one? Yeah, this one, and then we'll be like, oh, well, the thing about this, then we'll start explaining the movie to each other, like, oh, I love that part of that movie. We're like, shit, we're just doing the show. Yeah, basically. But my favorite thing actually is making our lists each month because I try to make I think I've done a pretty good job at all our pairings that we did. That they all like work. Sometimes they work almost like creepily too well. Like some of them have become like too close to what's going on in the news at times.
Oh man.
Oh.
Like, do you guys do like a horror movie and then a palate cleanser? So it's like a nice rom-com and then a real
palate cleanser.
You don't need puppies.
You go in raw tongues, like.
Yeah, it depends what it is. Sometimes we have movies that we don't expect to be traumatizing, and then we end up watching a movie that sucks, and it's like refreshing.
You're like, okay.
We had 1 month. We had 1 month that was like I think we had more duds than anything else. I want to say.
Oh no.
That's okay, not our fault. It is the nature of art.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it might have been part of our summer one or one of them where I think it was like Teeth, Beach, Pool Party Massacre, and like Boneyard. It was like ones that just were not fun. And Blood Beach,
Rubber,
and more recently, Hands of Steel. I won't let you live that down yet.
John Saxon was in it, and I'm easily manipulated that way.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking man. Leave him alone.
It's true. It's true.
He has a gorgeous, strong brow.
It's the only reason I kept watching
the brow
film.
that gets me.
Yeah, brow, jawline.
It's true.
I love that though. That's awesome. That is so awesome.
But I think overall we've had more hits than not hits. I don't think
definitely more hits. And well, I love that we discover things. Like,
Oh yeah.
we really make it a point to think outside the box,
Oh
like
yeah.
come up with some stuff that is hopefully available. That's
See, we've
probably
had
our
times
biggest
where we found
problem.
movies that just don't straight up exist. Like we could not find
What
them.
the hell?
They're gone.
I think
Like,
yeah, two movies we couldn't find was what was it? Branded we couldn't
Branded.
find, and Teenage Caveman, the 90s one we couldn't find.
So they were legitimately movies that were like taken off of whatever platform you could.
Yeah,
find
like they
them
weren't
on.
streaming, and to buy it
that's-
physical was too much. Like the price
Like-
of admission was way too much.
like not even buy it on Amazon. Like you would have to get this one DVD they made from eBay for like $200. And like,
Yeah,
It's
we
like
just
the
need-
ring from Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
you have to
it's
go
like
on
a
this journey.
It's like at some point, how bad do we really want to see this movie?
I mean, not that I haven't spent a little too much money on one or two movies, but they're from Hong
Yeah.
Kong.
I mean,
They aren't
samesies.
made in America, so I was getting Seeding of a Ghost. I was just gonna do it.
Because Amy's like that. Amy rolls that way.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
complete my collection of all the Godzilla movies. That's my whole
Oh
childhood.
dang!
I was gonna say I peeped all the
Let me
posters
see.
and I was like, I think
Oh,
I have all of
shit.
them too. Dude, I'm so jealous. It's not even funny.
Those are all the DVDs, and those are all the VHS tapes.
That's so amazing. You're living my
Oh,
And also,
fantasy.
it's like, they.
His house is
in-
literally covered in Godzilla.
Yeah, I have the
posters.
same posters in my house too, and I was like, I've got a couple other ones.
It's like,
and I was
let me tell you about myself, sir.
I knew Frank and I were gonna get along as soon as I saw how many toys he had.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
toys. I
But-
still have to say. Actually, I'm gonna wait till you visit to give you the Ziegler I got you. But
He's so cute.
actually,
But
speaking of
also-
what sold Amy was I don't think we ever told people our first movie that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like again my first time ever like meeting Amy. I was like, okay, she's either gonna want to work with me or kind of be like, okay, kid, like cool
Grind
story,
it to a
bro.
halt.
All
Yeah.
right, young man.
To kind of just be like, I'm gonna do the regular podcast. You can just do our social media. That's gonna be our life. So I was like, there's this movie called Legend of the Dinosaurs and Monster Birds that you need to see.
So good.
So this movie is, I think, is the heart of our podcast, of our show,
Mhm.
because it's so bad, but its redeeming qualities. When I tell you that there was a fight between a really shitty dinosaur like plesiosaur and a really bad pterodactyl puppet are fighting, that scored to like the funkiest like saxophone riff you've ever damn heard. Like,
Mhm.
ooh, I don't know
We
if
had
you
to
can
come
pull
up
it
with
up
a term for
in
it.
this right now, but like it's the craziest movie.
That sounds like
Pterodactyl.
Super Spice, and I need that in my life.
It's so, like again, we literally coined the term
Dinosaur
pterodactyl funk, and I'll never let it go.
Yeah, that's kind of when we're rating a movie. It's like on a scale of 1 to pterodactyl
Pterodactyl
funk.
funk.
Like,
How good was the
how
music?
good is this?
Pterodactyl.
And also it started our trend of movies that ended with just the island they're on exploding.
Amazing.
Yep.
It's
It happens
every-
way more often
every,
than you think.
Supervillain trope.
Yeah.
Deus Ex Volcano. Like,
Most monster movies we watch have ended with just a volcano erupting.
I mean, it's a good coverall. Like, well, we
It
gotta
is.
get rid of
Yes.
everything. Volcano, blow
It's
it
not
up. Boom.
overplayed.
No,
I mean,
never.
when you watch as many movies
Never.
as we do, you start to notice the seams of everything.
Volcano? No.
If you did these like once a month or something like that, we wouldn't notice this as much. But we do 2 movies every week.
I love that though so much. I just don't have time. That's the most terrible part about it. Is I love watching.
That is difficult sometimes, is having time. I've had to resort to like watching reviews of the movies and then just
Right
like
there.
reporting back.
100% the reason why I can't. Can I watch Encanto? Can we watch Moana?
Those are good movies.
They're great
It's like, I know
movies,
the
but when you've
songs
seen them
too
30
well. No more.
But also probably you've seen it like, 1,000 times at this point.
least. Like this week so far, like about how many times we watched Encanto? Like 3 or 4 times just this week, and it's only
Respect.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Respect.
right now, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
What?
Okay,
3 and
they're 3
4.
and 4 times. That was last week.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Whoa. It's at least more than once.
So sassy.
I mean, I have already seen, because sometimes I go the opposite way of a gorehound. I have seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish twice already in theaters.
Really?
So
Was it good though?
It's good.
it's
shockingly good.
secretly a horror movie.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's
Like,
what you've seen. Like, the internet is in love with the big bad wolf in that movie. It's like this giant, like, red-eyed monster man with 2 sickles. Like,
Can I give you a few little spoilers just to?
he looks like
back
a
up my point?
Bloodborne villain.
Oh, dude, Bloodborne.
even
I
seen
love
the-
it.
Yeah, the character looks like he's from Bloodborne.
Well, he's not just. So when we meet this wolf, he's terrifying. It's crazy good how he's introduced, and we think he's a bounty hunter who's after Puss in Boots, but he's not. He's not a bounty hunter. He's death. He is death incarnate. These blood red eyes. He whistles like a fucking Western villain.
They've been cussing the whole time.
You are fine.
I used to work with children, and that was a big problem.
She will 100% tell you that it's not okay to say those words. So it's like, no, she's already got it.
I'm sorry. She already has such strong morals. Good for
I know.
her.
Better than me.
But also the sheer number and ways that characters die in this movie, like it is a
Already
dark
sold.
ass-
Characters in that movie die.
Is it advertised for children?
It is. It is. Like
That's the thing.
the
Disney
only reason
kills
I
people
went
all
to
the
see
time.
it is because a friend of mine on Twitter who's a big horror girl, she was
Yeah.
like, "This is amazing. You need to see it." And I was like, "Corey wouldn't lie to me."
And also, only people I've been hearing talk about this movie are adults. I know no children who've seen this movie.
That's wild.
It's just so good. It's just so good. So secretly a horror movie, and it is the first time like ever that I've seen a panic attack depicted so it really depicts the way it feels
Oh, they
so
portrayed
beautifully.
it that well.
Yeah,
That's
and
interesting.
then one of the characters who wants to be a therapy dog, he does exactly the right thing when somebody's having a panic attack.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh my god! So not only was I like, shit, this is hella dark, but also I'm being like emotionally moved.
Yeah,
was-
like
it was
it's
a
like
ride.
I'm riding the waves right now, and this is crazy.
Well, again, the movies like that take you by surprise. It's like how in October, the 2 movies that took us by surprise was the Halloween Tree and When Ghouls Go Bad. Those movies
we were
legit
looking
both
at-
made us cry our asses off.
Really?
Like we were looking at Halloween specials, it's around Halloween, and a
Yeah,
lot of that is
yeah.
it's kids stuff. And the 2 we picked were just so much more emotionally mature
Yeah.
than either of us were expecting.
Like both tackle like the idea of death and also how death is celebrated in other cultures in the Halloween Tree. And like the driving plot is about how they're trying to save their friend who might die. And these kids are so willing to be like, I will take years off my life to save my friend. And you're like, holy, this is for children. And then when Good Girls Go Bad, straight up, when the focal point characters dies in the first 5 minutes on screen, just
Christopher
dies.
Lloyd.
Yeah, just gets doinked and he dies.
Have you seen the movie that's coming out? It's like it's called Strays. It has William Ferrell.
Oh, I am pretty curious about that. I just saw a trailer when I went to see Cocaine Bear. Just saw the
You saw
trailer.
Cocaine Bear!
Of course
It's made
I
by the
did.
same,
Well,
same people.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Which also is like, dang, y'all are on an animal roll here.
They're also
Like,
doing, like,
movies
a
are back.
Cocaine Shark or something like that.
Oh, I mean, of course
They're
they
gonna
are.
do
God.
a bunch of the cocaine animals, I guess.
But who's to say
They're-
Jaws was not on cocaine when he was doing his thing?
Cocaine crocodiles.
I think
that's
they're
kind of
doing
my
something like that too.
That's one of my secret weaknesses. I like Jaws is my absolute favorite movie.
Yeah, we made sure we did that during our summer of scary.
Yeah, till the day I die. So big animal attacking movies, aquatic or otherwise, like I'm down. I'm weak. Very weak.
They're fun. They're fun.
I do like underwater movies a lot. Like I think it's called The Abyss. I think that's
James
what it's
Cameron,
called.
1988.
James Cameron's, yeah, that one.
Yep, that one was really good. And then there's a more recent one where it's like a Cthulhian, like towards the end.
Yeah,
like,
that was I think it's
Underwater.
yeah, underwater.
I think that's what it was called. Yeah, that one
Yeah,
was awesome. I really like those movies though, where it's like this
like
like
this
dark,
game.
suspenseful horror. Where
Yeah.
it's not so
Mhm.
much like a in your face jump scares like a Paranormal Activity is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Although
I
I do
love
love those
the
movies.
ocean. Oh yeah, those have their place too. Good beginner horror.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I really love about the ocean and space, it's like humans at their most vulnerable. Like we
Mhm.
Oh
don't
yeah.
belong there. We are not fast or strong there, but we're gonna go anyway. So yeah, bottom of the ocean feels exactly like outer space. Like it's like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
how there are hundreds of ways that I could die in here. Like, oh my.
The pressure alone could crush me into a flat
Oh
as
yeah,
a
no,
penny.
that shit's so fun. It's like how does that work? How? And then yet things are swimming around there, living lives, being born and dying there. You're like,
yeah,
how?
like glowing, so they have their own light source. And it's like, huh?
And that's all they know.
Using light-
Bioluminescence. It's a beautiful, magical thing.
So wild to me. This Earth that we live on, the fact that like we are as advanced as we are to be able to like, oh, we can watch movies depicting like things that you couldn't even like probably comprehend or fathom like
Oh yeah, for
30,
sure.
40 years ago. It's like, this is so fucking cool. I love that we live in this day and age.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's great.
Like, how would have anyone ever thought of something like Avatar until like this century? Honestly,
Well,
like,
I mean, I think about like, what if you if you had some way to show Avatar to someone in the 40s, like, would it
Their
break
mind would
their
Oh, yeah.
brain?
They'd be
Their
like,
mind
this
would
is
would
alien.
They'd probably
Yeah.
say something very, very racist about it.
Ooh, also that,
yeah.
and then
The
their
thing is,
head.
the thing is though, I feel like they would see through the subtext immediately, be like, I get it. It's like, and then they would just say something incompletely racist. It's like those blanks.
Depression.
It's like, oh my god.
It's like, oh, I forgot. I went back to the 40s. Right.
It's like, don't you like remember that stuff's happening now?
Yeah, this
It's
is
current in the 40s.
That's a crazy thought. I never really even thought of that before. Like, what would happen if you showed someone from the past a movie from the future?
Okay, so to flip that a little bit and reverse it, have you guys seen the footage of the guy who technically has a cell phone back in, I don't remember what year it is,
was
but
like
he
1964.
yeah, and he's like walking through there, and there's no way that there's anybody that should have a cell phone, and he's almost dressed in like normal casual clothes, and
looks
it's supposed
He
to
looks
be
like a
in
hipster, honestly.
it was either in a commercial or a movie, and he was like just like a background person. But I think it was like at the time where they were just like, well, we don't need to pay anybody. They're just walking by. Let him be in the movie. Like, we don't need anybody's permission.
No, I believe it was actually like
It was something like
it was
that though.
footage from like a president was having some talk or something. It was
I
a
don't
photo
remember
of, like,
exactly
the
what it
street.
was.
Is it that whole like time traveler theory? Like they've
Yeah,
caught time
exactly.
travelers.
So it's like, I wonder if this shit has actually happened. Like,
Well, I mean, we covered missing Kate. Like, people, how do people just disappear? Like the dude that
Yeah,
we
that's
did,
the other
I
thing
don't
that's
remember
weird.
his name, but we did an episode of that guy who like just disappeared. He was on footage, and then that was the last anyone ever saw of him. He left a bar. And
Or what is it? Was that one famous story? That girl who like ended up in like the water tank of some hotel.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
That one
That's
still
Elisa
here in
Lamb.
LA.
that one's still fucked up. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I don't like that. No.
Or Fire in the Sky. That movie is correlated to the guy that got abducted and like ended up like being missing for like a week and then returned randomly in like a parking lot of some gas station like miles.
Yo,
miles away
that
where it's
abduction
supposed to be.
scene when they experiment fucking sucks.
I know.
That scene
have-
sucks.
Have y'all heard of the book or?
But also, how can you not fight those things? They have like no muscle mass. Fuck them up.
That's what I'm saying. They're like
Jellyfish.
little like blobs. They just bob.
Right, the little peanut heads. I don't care. Start an international war. They're not touching me.
There's a
Put your fingers on my
storyteller on
butt.
YouTube that
you punch them.
that I follow pretty hard.
because they have like
Yeah.
some weirder physics happen to them when you hit them.
I guess. So what, Amy? What were you saying?
So when it comes to missing people, I've been listening to Mr. Ballin for the last.
So
Yeah.
good. So
He's the
Okay,
one
so you
who-
guys know this guy.
He's the one who he brings up lots of like missing, never found stories from
Yep.
Missing 411, which is
Mhm.
this amazing book, and I believe they made it into a documentary. But it's all about people who go missing in like national parks, state parks.
Yep.
And it is like, it's just amazing. Like, just
Fascinating.
like, people can disappear just as easily in, a crowded city, in a crowded bar, as they can the
Yep.
fucking wilderness. and
Easily.
it's just kind of mind-boggling. Like, I forget. Oh, I wish I'd known his name, but I think he was like a young director in Australia. The last footage of him is like him flipping out in an airport and then taking off out the door, and then he's just gone.
Just
Like,
hopped in his ute and went into the old bush.
I mean, that's what happens. Sometimes
With
people just
Bush.
either get got or they just fucking just out of time and space.
Yeah, it's always so freaky, especially when you do have that last known footage.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's fucking running from something. It's just like,
Yeah, like what the
What?
fuck am I
What?
watching right now?
Yeah, what do you see that I
Yeah.
didn't see?
yeah, what happened?
What happened? What's going on, buddy? What's happening?
Are you
It's
okay?
wild. That shit's spooky.
I mean, we do like we have talked about a couple of disappearances, but I forgot his name. It's like Brandon something, I want to say. But it was like some bar this kid walked into, and
He was
there's
with his buddies.
and there's footage of
With
him
his buddies.
walking in, and he never walks out. They lost track of him for like a half an hour, and then apparently there was like a hallway that led through like some construction through a back alley and whatnot. But like the kid just disappeared entirely, never to be seen again, never be heard from. His accounts never were touched again. And it's like he walked into a building and then just vanished. How does that even happen?
I mean,
That's
it's
so
like
wild.
the worst joke. Like, a guy walks into a bar
And that's
and
it. Never saw him
comes
again.
out.
And that's it.
That's
It makes you wonder, like,
he's just there.
well, I always hear these weird stories too of like some of these people just like falling into manhole covers or just like falling into shit and then just never being found.
Oh
Because
my
that's
God,
like
yeah.
that's probably the sick sad truth of certain things. Like, there's a good chance like something weird happened where like he just like fell through something in the ground or like in a hole they were
Yeah.
digging and then just got buried alive and just that's forever gone and they're gonna find him in like his skeleton in like 30 years. But like shit like that happens. Like I remember hearing I forgot where it was, but like it was a similar story where like there was like a missing person thing and they were like reconstructing a building and they just found like a body in the wall that was there that's been there for like 30 years. It's like, oh, that's where they went.
Found him.
But it's like that kind of story where like, oh yeah, they just kind of gone. It's like, oh yeah, they got drunk one night, fell into a construction zone, fell into some concrete, gone forever.
Makes you wonder, like, am I going to be that guy one day?
Well, it's,
'Cause, like, I've had a
also
couple of
like
bad
it's like
nights.
mafia shit too. Like throw a body to a bunch of pigs, that shit's gone.
Like, fuck,
You know?
I blacked out one
like,
time
I
and me and Riley got into a fist fight, basically. And then I woke up the next day and I was like, oh, no, I don't remember any of this. Like, this
Dude,
is not good.
You could go to sleep and wake up missing.
Exactly.
They can happen to
You could
anyone.
wake up dead.
You can wake up dead.
Wake up dead.
He turned up missing.
There's people that went missing from the building of the Mackinac Bridge because they fell into the cement molds while they were building it. There was, like, 20 people or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And this
Stuck inside
is
the
just the
Mackinac
stuff we
Bridge.
can explain. Like,
Yeah.
each. This is why I stick to my horror movies, because the real world is fucked. At least Leatherface, I know what I'm dealing with.
See, but like, what if there's more validity to some of these like horror movies though than we think? Like somebody's like, oh, this is like complete fiction, but in reality, it's like, oh,
Well, I
actually,
mean,
like,
most stories can be
drawing
explained away like,
fiction.
oh, they're all meth heads. Because I've seen some scary fucked in meth heads once when I was in DC. So like, demons exist, and I've seen them. They're usually wearing. They usually got like a high top fade or some type of cardigan on, and they're fucked.
just smoking the rock every day.
That'll turn into a monster. But yeah, no, I'm glad that certain movies exist. Yeah, that shit can't happen in real life. No way, never.
Right. Like
Not
Although
this time.
There's a great line in The Faculty. I believe it's Clea Duvall's character.
Ooh.
And she makes the point, yeah, girl. She makes the point, what if, like, our science fiction movies, our Men in Blacks and our ETs, they're made so that we don't think this is real, so that we don't think it could ever be possible. And I don't know if the conspiracy goes that big, but yeah, when you put certain things in movies, it just automatically like, well, impossible, completely fictional.
Right. I've
It's
heard
like,
the theory.
A dog playing basketball? Never.
I've heard the theory that sometimes they like higher power or whatever, they might like make a movie to desensitize us to something that's going to happen in the future.
Mm.
So like Men in Black might desensitize you to aliens coming, or like Independence Day, I guess is a better example of that. Like
Mhm.
what happens when aliens come down and they start a war with us? It's like what's that
I
other
mean-
movie with the spaceships that come down and there's like they look like these giant monuments. Gosh, it was pretty recent. It came out.
I know which one. I know which one you're talking about. It's the one where they're trying to like warn about the future.
Arrival.
Arrival.
Arrived. Yes, that's it. Like,
Mhm.
what if
The most unrealistic part about that movie was someone falling in love with Hawkeye, whatever his fucking name is.
I don't remember any of the actors.
Someone having chemistry with that guy. No way.
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah. Someone having chemistry with Jeremy Renner. No way. That is science fiction.
He's so approachable, handsome though. Aw, I mean, he's not my favorite. He's doesn't have the strongest brow, but that's not his fault.
He definitely looks like the kid that you know that like in high school that knows all about cars but will never drive one. I say
He's
that
too
from
busy
experience.
being driven around.
Yeah. It's that glass eye of his.
So, what movies do you guys got coming up on the podcast? I forget if you mentioned it earlier.
Ooh, I don't think we did. We mentioned the ones we're currently watching. Right now, we're doing for this one, we're doing Evolver and Chopping Mall with special guest Poltergeist OD. He's a horror hip hop artist who's fucking awesome.
And I just want to talk about Shopping Mall.
Hell yeah! So we did Terminator, Nemesis 2, Evolver and Chopping Mall, and then we got Hardware, War Beast, Moontrap, and Virus.
Virus sounds like it'd be a good one.
Yeah, this one from all the ones I picked are just like what looks like the craziest animatronic prop they built for this movie, just tearing people to ribbons. That's what I look for.
And I've been
Who
meaning
doesn't
to
like
see
a robot
Virus.
of destruction?
I like what I hear a lot already.
Yeah, we go for the robots.
We go for the robots, and we just want our robots like shredding people apart.
Well, we like to like really dive into our themes. We like to, think outside of the norm, kind of what people already know.
That's why we try to at least have like one classic every other month, or like one a month.
I guess that's our palate cleanser.
Yeah, because we burn through all the classics, we're not gonna have any left. Like the fact that we've only done a handful of Godzilla movies, not a bunch each month. I try to stagger those if I can, because again, they're my favorites. But like, I'm gonna get sick of them if I have them every single movie we do. And also,
if you watch,
what hasn't been said about all these Godzilla movies, anyways, that someone had already said. I'm not breaking new ground here.
Final Wars was pretty great. Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
probably
that's
one
of
my
favorites.
Too.
I really like.
I just love Mothra. She's so
great.
Yeah,
Mothra's amazing.
We did Mothra for last February for the Ladies Month. We did Mothra.
So I'm a complete nerd, and I play a lot of Magic the Gathering. And as of right now, I'm building a full Godzilla deck. So like,
oh yeah, that's right. You
like
can do that.
And the rest are like in it because it's like the same. All of them are mostly in the colors I need, and I was like, fuck yeah.
I tried buying that set, but that set got expensive quick.
Yeah, I did. I just proxied all of it because I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna use my printer.
Perfect.
I'm not paying for it.
Perfect. That's the smart man's way of doing things.
I mean, I should pay for it, but I mean, I've already bought a lot of cards, and Wizard of the Coast is kind of a shitty company for partnering Hasbro, who is like, you can't make your money off of our games without us making all the money first.
Yeah, like I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh, but financially, I'm not back into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
We actually made our own card game. Well, I did.
Oh yeah, we have yet to like really play it on stream or like show it off, but it's so fucking fun.
Oh yeah,
really sweet. So like you
solve investigations.
Basically. You got to like collect all these devices to solve it, and it's all based off the dice you roll. So you can just get screwed every time you go, or you can just get super lucky and just solve everything. It's great.
None of the games you ever play will ever be the same. It's pretty great.
It's pretty good for just coming up with it off the top of my head, basically.
I don't know. I was like, I feel like a complete illiterate dum-dum, and I was like, I don't know how you even make this work. And then he did, and I played it, and I was like, dude, I could like see Toys R Us picking this up and selling it. It was
It's
just
mean,
fun.
take it around to card shops. See if people want to play. Test run it.
That's what I was thinking too, because like the ones around town, I know they have like open nights where it's like a freestyle, where it's like you can play whatever.
Yeah,
you want. Like
I've test ran a handful of video game, not video games, board games in my time. So yeah, people are down for it. Just explain the rules
I can
and
go
people
get it
play.
and show you guys some cards if you want.
We can't even get into the topic of video
It's
games
pretty
because
sweet.
I will
Sure, go for
literally
it.
talk forever.
It's y'all show. We're here for you.
See, and it's like usually I'm talking about like ghosts and aliens and stuff, but it's like nobody knows the other niches that I'm super into. And it's
Oh
like,
word,
I've
no, I
touched
could go
a
all
lot
day
of
about
these
that
now.
stuff. Actually,
D&D
I'm trying to
too.
think, Amy. We haven't done a lot of ghost movies, have we?
Really?
If
I
at
don't know if
all.
there's any really like super good ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Really,
Okay.
There are some good
Hopefully it'll
ones,
show up
but ghosts are one of those things that sort of like zombies. Like it sounds like a really easy creature, but it gets done wrong so much.
Yeah.
Like for every, The Haunting you have from 1963? No,
yeah, you
or
gotta
sooner.
execute well.
Yeah, for every
But was the haunting really
beautiful-
ghost though?
I mean, we did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, is it the haunting? But was that ghosts?
I mean, yeah, I tend to recommend ghost movies for folks that are getting into horror or just want to watch something a little spooky for Halloween.
Mhm.
Like I will, like kind of my go-to, What Lies Beneath. It is nice,
What
easy,
Lies
PG-13, not too gory, but still, fairly spooky. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't ramp it up to like Japanese ghosts.
No, not where it makes you shit your pants. Like that one movie where just that one hallway scene is the most fucked. You know what I'm talking about?
Remember, dude, Indonesia does great ghost stories. I mean,
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah,
like
I
kind of
bet.
their cultures, has different types of ghosts, but just
Yeah.
the folklore is so interesting. So let's see. I would say if you ever get to see the remake of Satan's Slaves, super solid.
Slaves. Like,
Yeah, again, Amy will not see you wrong with a good, like, actually scary movie. Amy's good with that.
have you ever
Maybe
heard of Dead Silence?
I have, yeah. The
Is that
dummy.
the dude? The plot of that
Yeah.
movie is so fucking bullshit.
It
He like
is.
goes like
It is, but it's really
at like a
good.
show, and some old bitch is like, you know what? Forever,
Dude,
you're gonna be
Killer
cursed.
Dolls.
I'm like,
I liked the whole everything got quiet, so there wasn't even a noise, and you were just like, oh, something big's about to happen, and then it would just be like super bassy, and then
Because
bam, something would pop. It was definitely a jump scare type movie.
dude, but also
But
that also
come
the.
on,
greatest,
Killer
but-
Dolls are fun.
I
who
guess,
doesn't
but it's
like
also
a
like I can
killer
fucking
doll? Like,
body
I
slam
know.
that shit.
or Leprechaun movies too.
Well,
But
we did
anyway.
Leprechaun. We did Leprechaun in space.
Leprechaun
colors.
4.
So we have you
Oh, Zam, look at that.
and then
Oh,
you has a little bio, and then you roll the dice,
wow.
and then there's investigator. So that's
Oh, that's cool.
and our buddy Alex.
Yo, those look legit as fuck.
Yeah,
You did a
seriously.
good job.
Locations, and then your devices, so you can use a Ouija board to solve your. And some
Bro,
of them
that's so
have more
cool.
options, and some of them have less.
You really should bring that around. Show people that game. I swear.
I'm so proud of him.
Aw.
He's
Yeah.
all grown up.
It's going up so fast.
Yeah, it's hopefully we'll play it live one day on the show or something.
That'd be cool.
Mhm.
Play it.
I haven't figured out how we would do it yet.
You basically,
I was
I've
like, we
seen
have to
people
get the
when they do
angle
card
right.
games, you get a camera, and you just angle it down at the playmat, and just kind of do it that way.
chess style.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why we haven't figured out yet, because we just have a camera that goes on top of the computer. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta get a ring light or one of those winches that have the little arm on it.
Yeah, those things are super, super nifty. You can on one end, you can just
This
attach
thing
it to.
fucking sucks though.
Yeah, you need
Go
the
for a new
windy one
Yeah.
that you can
Oh.
close.
It's
It's
snake almost.
Yeah, it's a snaky arm to it. Yeah.
Super, super nifty. So just wherever you are, you can arrange it. I love
Yeah.
that thing.
You order that now.
You
yeah,
order
on your
now.
Amazon.
I feel like being a podcaster, you're never satisfied with your setup.
No, never. I
As
don't
a
think.
person, I'm
always-
never satisfied.
Like, you always just want to.
As someone who works for podcasters, that's true as hell.
It's like there's just always something to fidget with and something you're just not quite right with.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, we have an adorable visitor.
I'm just waiting for our set. Till we have another movie that I can wear one of my crazier costumes, because none of the movies we've watched recently have really lent itself for me to like super dress up. Not yet.
I mean,
Not yet.
I mean,
getting
I
there.
had fun with dressing up for ginger snaps. I just
Dude,
got
that
to
was
dress
so
all
fun.
90s, put blood
You
on my
nailed it.
face.
Your costume was so much better than mine.
Oh no, you were wonderful, Bridget.
Oh yeah, I was Bridget and she was Ginger. We did the
You look
Fitzgerald
like a
sisters.
Bridget. I love that.
We drew it. I was all frumpy. I was like, ooh, it was so good.
I'm coming into my own in high school. Also, I'm killing people. So yeah,
Yeah.
it worked.
Oh yeah, that's the live stream I jumped in for a little bit with the bucket
Yeah.
of blood that drops on them at prom
Oh,
or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was for Carrie.
I'll say
Yeah.
Carrie is such. I love that movie. It's so fucking wild.
I've never seen it, but at least I don't
Really
think
good.
I have.
Would you
but it
guys prefer the
sounds
newer
super
old
familiar.
ones though?
I've only seen the old one, so I
Yeah.
can only recommend the old one.
The new one isn't bad. It definitely I would say the old one is by far better because like the new one to me doesn't do it enough justice.
It's a hard story to recreate. Like I think
Yes, it is.
I love The Rage Carrie 2 because they
Yeah.
weren't trying to
Well, that's a
recreate
sequel.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
They were doing a sequel, and I think it's just. I mean, I am deeply cynical of remakes. Kind of in the.
We did a
since
remake.
that
I think we did a
guy-
remake month. Yeah.
Ever since that guy, he was so cute, and I told him I just got The Wicker Man on VHS, and he goes, Nicolas Cage. I'm like, the original. He's like, oh, I didn't know it was a remake.
Yep.
Motherfucker.
If it's not The Thing, which is the best of all remakes,
Yes.
I will always be a little cynical and a little snobby. Although Dawn of the Dead, solid remake.
So good. Not gonna lie, I love Dawn of the Dead.
It was so much fun. Like it just
know.
had the right energy, the right.
Also, wait, the
cast,
Blob,
like
the Blob remake from the 80s.
Oh, and the thing remake
the
too
88
wasn't
Blob.
bad.
It's so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
completely out
There
of
are
it, Ken.
2 exceptions.
Yeah, the Blob remake's pretty good.
Have
Pretty
you
fucking
watched
good.
any of
Really good.
the Children of the Corn.
We haven't done that on our show yet, but I've definitely seen those movies.
I don't know if there's
own
any
1,
remakes
2,
of them,
3.
I
I've
don't
seen a
know.
couple of them.
I think they're like
No.
too dumb to be remade.
Oh, they apparently, yeah, the most recent remake, which was like this year, I think.
Yeah, I thought they
Um,
just made a new one.
Yeah, like I said, they made it and no one fucking saw it.
Yeah, they made a new one, and now everybody's saying like, "Is this a franchise that would be okay if it died?" And
Final
Kinda like-
Destination?
no Devon Sawa, no interested.
No thank yous.
There's no interest here.
no,
I mean,
no,
one of the one movies
entrada.
I hope they never wish they would never stop making is Harry Potter. Honestly,
I do like me some Harry Potter movies. They're
Yo,
not
man,
bad.
I never got into that shit because I was like, oh, cool, a thing where I'm in school. No thanks.
Amy,
not wrong.
Amy's
But,
got
like-
a little bit of a bias when it comes to Harry Potter versus Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
like,
Rings is by far better, like 1,000,000 times better. But
I
would
got my
would love
king
to be a
right
wizard.
here.
Yeah.
who doesn't like
Although
magic?
Alan Rickman,
I want to do magic, wave a wand, and
Yeah, but then there's like, you
Harry
can't do
Potter.
that in the hallways. I'm like, yo, fuck yourself. I'm a magician. Pew, pew. Like, too many rules. I have to do a wizard homework. That
like
shit's
this
that's
boy was bullying me. Like I'm gonna turn you into a fucking newt. Like
like this stuff sucks. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in school. I want to do magic on my shitty abusive parents. Gimme.
boom, I'm invisible.
Right? Like, do some extortion, Harry. Like, goddamn, make a buck or two. Fuck.
I would just fly on a broom all the time. I would just be whee! that's all I'd want to do. I just want to fucking fly. Like,
Bro,
who needs
everybody talked
classes? I've
about
got
him
a flying
too. Like,
broom.
he didn't even brand himself. Like he could have. Everybody talked about him. Everybody knew who Harry was.
Yeah, dude, he could like boy who live t-shirts, get him while they're hot.
He been like, yo, I'm gonna fuck Voldemort up, bro. Like, come get this.
He could have had merch. He could have had anything.
And
he
Draco
wanted.
Malfoy's like, my father will hear about this. I'm like, yo, your father's a bitch.
Your
Like,
father's
over here about me. You're done,
I mean,
son. You're
I don't-
done.
Jason Isaacs, whenever he shows up, just like, hi, you're a mean, scary dad, aren't you?
Oh,
Also,
my God.
controversial hot take. If Dobby showed up in my room, I would snap its neck.
Why
That's
did they
zaddy
make Dobby
energy.
so
Dobby's the worst.
scary?
Dobby and E.T. are like characters that are like, oh, look how cute they are. I'm like, no, those are gross little like hairless nutsacks that are running around my house. I don't want that here. Kill
But
it.
Dobby's a free elf.
Yeah, he's about to be free of his life. When I fucking broke his neck.
Dies. The one free elf dies.
Kapow! Good riddance.
What does that say about
Dobby
civil
didn't mean
rights?
it, sir.
And the best part is that everyone knows that elves, when they die, go to hell. Straight to it.
I didn't know that.
Right the hell with you, you elf.
Just yeah.
You didn't serve enough.
Holy fuck. All right, how do we feel about
Done.
spoofs? So
Spoofs?
like Spaceballs or
Scary
Mel
movie.
Shaun of the Dead.
spoofs? Yes.
I fucking
Outside
love
of that,
I feel like they're really
I'll
hard.
see the
Well, we've
first
watched.
scary movie. No more.
Yeah, we've watched some. We've watched a handful, and I'd say they're pretty hard to do. I feel like the one that we watched
yeah.
of spoofs that we watched, Amy, that was actually pretty good was Drive Through.
Okay, yeah, that.
Oh yeah.
that
Drive Through was
fun.
trashy, but like it was pretty solid. You
I
gotta
would
admit.
say you're right. It's
What is it a spoof of?
trashy.
Yeah, it's trashy as shit, but it's pretty cool.
It's a
What's it a
spoof
spoof of?
of just God, like 2000s the slasher genre.
It basically was just Scream
Yeah.
and like Jason.
Smash
but he's a
into one thing.
clown.
Kinda like
Um,
that another teen movie where it's like it's just a bunch of random shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
A
it's
bad
just
example
we're
that we
gonna
watched
reference
was Pool Party Massacre. That movie sucked.
Yeah, dude. That's all
So
I did see. It's really fucking bad.
Like they had so much going for it, and then they just had like
They
I don't know if they
shit bag.
intentionally chose like bad actresses or just didn't teach them how to act or anything.
Or they just
I
gave
mean-
up towards the end. They're like, "Fuck it, we're like, can we just be done?"
And then the
now?"
director's in the movie, and he's like actually a good part of the movie, but he's like the last minute of that film.
Yep,
It's like, don't Bride of
wild. That shit cracked
Frankenstein
me up.
this. Like, and the gore is so lame. They just
Oh
do
yeah,
drip
chocolate
gore.
syrup.
It's just dripping. Like you don't see,
Yeah,
the
no
knife go
penetration.
in, but you see a shot of it's here and there's drippage.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it's all just the drip, the drip, the drip. It's like you don't see any penetration.
It's like
I
I
know
came
how
for the
that
snuff
sounded.
film.
And also, it's one of the few times I think ever that we watched a movie that had like tits in it that I looked at the person's tits and was like, "That's someone's daughter. I can't be watching this anymore."
It's like, ma'am, I don't feel right about this.
Like I was like,
Oh,
this girl was not
no.
probably paid properly. She probably doesn't have her SAG card. Like this shit sucks,
The awkward bone.
dude. I don't even know if it was a bone. It's more like I got a bone to pick with this movie for being awful, wasting my time. I want it back.
It's like, I should not feel this way when I see boobs. Damn it, movie.
Oh, fucking A. That's hilarious.
Like goddamn. Like again, it was I think because we were searching for movies, and I think I just searched like summer movie murder party shit. Like that's usually what we do for our theme months. I'll type the theme into Google, and whatever comes up, we'll kind of pick from.
I'm just rocking with it. Whatever.
And generally, there's like a something massacre that fits our theme.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
that's how we found
sorry.
what is it? Winter Beast and Snow Monster.
Snow
sorry.
monster.
No. Winter Beast. Actually, Winter Beast was cool. Winter Beast was cool. It sucked all types of ass, but it was cool to watch.
So fucking funny, dude. These names are fucking killing me. Some
Let's
of
see,
them
we're gonna
are
go
generic,
through,
fuck,
make
and
a big
others
old
are
list.
great.
I'm trying to think. What are some ridiculous movies that we watch? I think still. Well, the best one still is Legend of the Dinosaur and Monster Birds.
It's-
The funny thing is, it puts them in plural, and it's only one of each. There's only one dinosaur and only one
there's
monster
not a
bird.
selection. It's just one of each.
Yeah, because it says
Sorry.
dinosaurs and monster birds, You expect tons of them. There's only two.
Never.
It was a typo.
Singular.
They didn't mean the S's.
In the plural. Oh fuck. Okay. All right. What was the first movie that y'all seen titties in? So like what
Like,
age and,
personally?
like, yeah, like personally. Like, do you remember what movie you saw that had your first set of titties in it?
It's
a hard
I'm
one because I'm having a hard time remembering too. But I was like,
Die Hard.
yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, you only see him for a minute, but
It's a very quick flash. But yes,
it is a quick flash. But I was definitely like 13. My mom had let me rent it. She was actually like asleep nearby, so I had to have it really low volume. Best night. So good.
Best night.
I want to say
Although-
I want to say mine was RoboCop. Way too young.
Oh,
Oh
man.
yeah. I gotcha.
I mean, most of it was a blur.
We
Like,
all went the action route.
I shouldn't have been even shown a frame of that movie at the age that I was at. Like, it wasn't even
Right.
like I think it was at like a friend's house. It was like my dad's coworker's son. Like, they were hanging out, and I was hanging with him. He had a bunch of cool toys, and I was just hanging out with him, playing with all his like Transformers and like Power Ranger toys. And he's like, "Oh, cool, want to watch RoboCop?" And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, that sounds fun. It's a robot cop." Two things I know: robots and cop. And the first thing I see is the opening scene. I'm like, I don't think I should watch it. Keep in mind, I'm probably like 5 years old, so I have no concept of what like any of that is. I was like, "Where's the robot cop? What is this?"
Where's the robot cop?
Why are people exploding?
Kind of. I was also like, "Why is this movie so loud?"
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Can't
So,
watch that
like,
one quietly.
So it basically blocked up most of that movie out of my brain until like it came up later. But I was like, weird.
Oh,
That's gold.
But yeah, I think it probably was RoboCop because that's probably the most R-ass rated movie I saw as a child.
Right. I honestly can't remember. I think American Pie probably was mine, and I think I was like 11. It's like, ooh, yeah, titties. Like, what am I?
I'm trying to think like tits of my own volition. Like I seek them out like with parental supervision. I don't know. Maybe Snakes on a Plane.
Snakes on a Plane is a good one too, though. Get these.
That dude gets his dick bit off.
It's so funny. Oh man, let's see. Other like funny movie tropes.
Yeah, give us some because again we've probably seen them. So yeah, keep these questions coming. We're good at this.
All right, Riley, you think of some because I'm still stewing.
Well, Amy said she likes movies with animals. So,
oh man,
Anaconda 2,
Eight-Legged
Piranha,
Freaks.
Piranhas,
We've seen Piranhas.
Eight-Legged Freaks.
Eight-Legged Freaks fucked me up as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. I have a phobia
Aw.
of spiders because of it.
I dress up like a
so
spider for my
sweet.
livelihood, and I still hate spiders.
Arachnophobia
I'll
is
kill 'em, but,
another
like-
one that I have a number of very sweet friends who are not as passionate as I am about horror, and because I love them, I keep my recommendations very reasonable. So
Yeah.
Arachnophobia
So
every
good.
year
Ugh.
gets somebody.
For me, I
Um,
watched a movie once, and I think that's all I'll ever need to watch that movie for.
I know. I was gonna say it's
I've never
good,
had
but-
issue with spiders. Like that's never been a thing for me. Like I'm freaked the fuck out by snakes.
My
Thank you,
bad.
Anaconda, and sharks. Thank you.
I think it's the way
dogs.
my brain's wired. I think anything too small that moves super fast fucks my brain up.
See, I
think the
can-
one
Oh
that-
yeah,
get
like
snakes and like other things like that. Like reptiles aren't too bad, but
the
it's
one that
fucking
gets me is like
bad bugs.
Tremors,
Bu-
like that kind of.
oh
thing, like giant, like,
yeah,
centipede, like
Oh, yeah,
I
giant
know
bugs.
what you're
Ground.
talking-
yeah.
Yeah,
Tremors, dude.
dude, that movie is fucking wild. Or Starship
That's a good one.
Troopers, like giant bugs like that.
Oh
That
yeah.
one fucked me up.
Oh,
bugs that
Starship
go
Troopers
underground,
is so
like-
good.
You want something? You want
So
something a little different?
gruesome.
We did one of our first movies we did also was Matango, Attack of the Mushroom People. That one's really
Yeah.
cool.
I love
people?
saying it though.
Are they
Matango.
actually mushroom people? Like,
Yeah, they become mushrooms. The whole subplot of it is much different because the way people start turning the mushroom actually is reminiscent of I think it was mushroom clouds and of I think it was Nagasaki syndrome, which is people who
Oh,
experience
no.
fallout from the nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
Their skin would just get these weird growths that look like mushrooms.
Yeah.
So a lot of the victims of the poisonous mushrooms in the film start looking like that. They start looking like the victims of the atomic bomb.
but they do not go full Last of Us,
Yeah, I was just about
zombie
to-
crazy.
Yeah,
They're
they
not
become
doing
like
that.
they become like
That's
giant
so
like
crazy
mushroom like
good.
suited people, but it's still spooky as all fuck.
Oh, I bet.
It's really good. It's one of the Toho's like early films that wasn't Godzilla, so definitely recommend
Oh,
it.
Toho made it too.
Oh yeah, Toho made it. It's a good
sick.
one.
That's
So you're in
really-
for like
Ooh.
solid music, solid special effects, and it does. They don't go too wild with the special effects. A lot of it's suspense.
Right. Well, think of how iconic like the Godzilla music is, and how it's lived on past its fucking lineage at this point.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
know.
oh my god! And if
the movie has
Toho
it.
is behind that shit, like that shit's gonna be
Music
fucking
can
good.
make or break a movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
easily.
Oh,
A
yeah.
score is everything.
Right. You
Yeah.
You're
like,
telling us like
solid track.
Pterodactyl Funk?
Yeah, again, if Legend of the Dinosaurs did not have the music it had, we would not be talking about it.
I mean,
We would have
what
forgotten
was
about it, but it's so funky. Oh,
It's so great.
Old Greg.
Yeah.
I forgot what show it was, but like when
Mighty
Bootsy Collins
Boosh.
kicked the funk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mighty Boosh. Yeah, when Bootsy Collins kicked the funk right overboard.
we were hanging out with
I'm Old
Parliament
Greg.
on the mothership.
I'm trying to think of other. Actually, one movie that we watched recently that was animal based, but not what you think, was Cat People. That one was really good.
Bad people.
I've heard of that.
much
but
more
I haven't watched it.
much more psychological, but that's
Yeah.
it's early. It's Val Luton in his prime.
Same
And
with
he
the She
made-
Wolf of London.
Very similar stories, basically about like repressed feminine rage as kind
Yeah.
of a underlying theme. And
And-
Amy
yeah.
is all about getting that feminine rage out. That's why
And what's good about a lot of these movies too. Also, a lot of the movies we watching recently too are like an hour 12, like an hour and 12 minutes. So they're so short,
not
but
bad.
they pack so much into these short movies. It's astonishing. It makes me look again at like the Batman. It's like, why'd you need to be 3 fucking hours? This movie gave me everything in an hour. Get it together.
I did
Hollywood.
like the new Batman, but yeah, it was a lot to take.
Did I need 3 hours of it? I didn't need to see him go all the way from his car all the way into the club. You could have just jump cut. Come on.
Yeah.
So have you done any like vampire movies like Blade or Vampires?
We
Vampires
we did
is
the
a
best
sweet
vampire movie, Near Dark.
Near Dark.
Bill Paxton.
I don't know that one. Have you
Oh,
heard of a movie called Vampires? It's about vampire
James
hunters.
Woods?
Oh, I don't know.
28 days later. That's a good one. I gotta go change it.
But they like go around and hunt vampires, and they're like trying to.
Yeah, it's James Woods and Daniel Baldwin, Billy Baldwin, Daniel. It's John Carpenter's Vampires. Yeah,
That's a
no,
sick
that one
movie.
a lot of
I
fun.
really
It was
like
James
Blade,
Woods.
The original Blade, like the first one. The sequel and the third one can go die somewhere, but the first one, like, it's so good. Like the opening scene with the bloodbath and everything, like, it's so cool. Oh, we lost Frankie.
I figured out. I'm putting together a chart about how much fake blood is used in certain movies. Blade, that opening scene, 425 gallons.
That's insane.
Yeah, because like for the kind of sprinklers that they're using for how long the scene goes, and obviously they probably shot more than that. Somebody on Reddit just did the math and did a hella research, and yeah, at least 400 gallons. And also one of my favorite shirts is it's just Blade and it just says Daywalker on it.
Oh, so cool. So cool. I actually watched that movie not too long ago because I just came up on Netflix and I was just like, man, I haven't seen this movie in so long. And, bless
Yeah,
his
it was
life.
98. I always
He's an
forget that it was
actor.
in the 90s.
Yeah, I didn't know it was so far back. Like, I started watching, I'm like, man, this movie's old. Like, they're using some like old phones and shit. And I'm like, man.
No, it's like our first, like cell phones were really a thing, but we were still working on them.
Yeah, I think he was using like a car phone in one of the scenes, and I was like, "What?" I'm like, and I had to look to see like.
Hey,
how
I'm back.
old...
So, no joke, we just lost power at my house, and it's back on now.
Oh wow!
So
I thought you just got bored with us.
No, yeah, mid sentence, we lost fucking power. That happened earlier this afternoon. I don't know why. So I'm trying to get the Wi-Fi back on and shit. But I was just talking about vampire movies. Yeah, we've done Vampire Hunter D, and I think did we do another one, Amy? I forget.
was telling him about Near Dark. Basically, Near
Oh, yeah.
Dark has 3 actors from Aliens in it. So right after Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen, and Jeanette Goldstein did Aliens together, they were all Marines. Boom! We're making a vampire movie where we never use the word vampire. And it's the same director, Catherine Bigelow, as Point Break. Sorry, I got so excited I banished Frank.
Welcome back.
Okay. Hopefully my house doesn't mysteriously lose power again. Anyways,
I can't
yeah,
believe that, folks.
it's so fucking crazy.
I just hope nothing Skinamarink happens to you. 'Cause that movie,
Dude, I love that shit.
it hurt my eyes.
The
I like when-
Strangers.
I like when nothing happens.
Oh yeah, home invasion movies are
Good.
kind of the worst because they're so plausible.
I know,
They
that's
are
what I always tell people. I was like,
completely-
that's probably my scariest horror movie.
Well,
because
I told
real.
Amy my prime strategy for anything like that. The first thing I have is like, if I know I'm gonna get fucked up situation, burning it all down. I'm lighting the house on fire because at the
Burning
very
it all
least,
down.
one of us will be dead.
I'm taking one of
have
you
a
down
bullet
with me.
I've always
If I'm
loved
ever
trying to
kidnapped,
predict
first thing I
who's
do,
gonna
not
die.
even trying to save myself, I'm burning it down. You either have to run out of this house without me or take me with you.
Right? Yeah,
And,
it's like,
and
either
also,
we're dying
your safe
together
house
or not.
gone, burned, done.
Burnt it.
It's always fun trying to predict who's gonna die first in a movie too. Like you're like,
Mhm.
oh, that person because they.
We try not to pick favorites in our show. We try not to get attached to anyone
The
too soon.
movie-
always ends up being the one I want to be at the end. I don't know
Bro,
why.
the best movie for that though is The Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The best movie for that,
Yes,
because
yes.
it's like it's just such a 180 where you're like, oh no, my favorite character died. He's alive.
Oh my god, when he came back at the end, I'm like, the stoner made it.
Yeah, I was
Someone you don't
so
think.
happy.
I'm pretty sure the whole theater, we were all like, oh, this
Yes.
dude has an extendable coffee mug bong. Like, that's just genius. He deserves to live just
forgot
because of
about
that.
Dude, that movie is great.
That movie
Yeah,
is
that's a
so
great
good.
freaking movie. It's so
Yeah, speaking of
suspenseful, too.
Killer
It
Holmes,
starts off so
I always have to talk about this. My favorite thing ever that we've done on the show is anatomy. Still my favorite thing. I think I even brought it up when I had you guys on the show too.
you might
About
have.
the idea of the house basically being alive and wanting to kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
talking about this. Yes.
I love
It's so
that.
good. Fucking
It's
love
so
it.
Y'all-
cool.
Have y'all ever seen Burnt Offerings?
No.
That's a good ghost movie. That's a really
Yes,
good one.
Actually, when that
Really
one
good.
actually is good.
Sorry, I'm
That
just
was-
thinking of not as crazy recommendations.
No, we're all about it. This
I
is for
recently
their
watched
audience.
Ouija. It's an older like ghost movie.
Oh, I've seen that movie before.
Yeah, it's
Luigi,
pretty- Yeah.
brother
I
of
haven't
mine.
It is. That actually is pretty good. Or another older one that I really liked was The Right.
Oh yes.
I
with
forgot what
nun.
the actor is. The older guy. He
Anthony
died like
Hopkins?
yes, exactly. Yep. I was say he died recently.
Amy
too,
loves this game.
unfortunately.
Mhm.
It's so good. That I mean, have you ever seen the movie Riley? The Right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that movie is one of my favorite. Another one. Let's see. Oh, what was that Wendigo movie that we wanted to see, but we haven't yet?
Oh, antlers.
I think it was called Antlers. Yeah. Have you guys seen
Ooh.
that movie?
I have not seen that, but I love me the hell out of the Wendigo legend. That is
So do
probably
I do like
the
it.
creepiest, like, it's like man becoming his like very worst self.
Well,
In a
is it
way.
like I almost feel like Ravenous could have become a Wendigo movie because y'all just did that, and we did that for our show too during Thanksgiving. We did
Yeah.
that.
The ritual.
Consuming.
The Ritual is really good. I really like
Ritual
that
is
movie
good.
too.
Ritual was very good. I mean, I feel like with Netflix horror, there's always just a little bit of a limitation on there.
Yeah,
But
I
just
would
the
say
whole-
so.
But just the whole design of the monster and the ritual is
Yeah. The monster's
kind of
so
amazing.
good.
Like when you first get a glimpse and you see that hand move.
The scale of
That's the one where it's like a
so
giant
cool.
deer,
I
but
think
it's got like
that's what I
a man
scale.
butt for a face.
Well, I love that you never even get the full scale until like the movie's almost over. You never see all of it at once. And once you do, it almost like like unfurls like a flower. It's
Well, yeah, it's
See,
like a creature from Bloodborne. Amy, have you played Bloodborne yet? You need to.
So good.
I have not. My video game knowledge is deeply limited. I got to Sonic
just
the
send you all the
Hedgehog and I never advanced.
I say Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Demon Souls.
I'll just send you the like a lore video about Bloodborne, and you'll just be like, I want everything up to do with this.
There's so much lore. For
All you need to know, Amy, is that the churches are evil, and they've been harbingering a elder god under the base in the basement,
Well, that's where you put your elder gods. Like,
and using its blood to poison a town and make it into a bunch of monsters by accident.
By accident.
Okay.
I'm not a pagan. Oh,
Mhm.
speaking of that, my wife today told me some crazy shit about St. Patrick's Day that I had no idea about. So apparently, like St. Patrick, was I guess like something like he's known for like hunting snakes. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Got
drove
all
the snakes out of Ireland.
Exactly. Yeah, but it was like a euphemism. Is it a euphemism? I don't know if
Metaphor.
that's what it meant. Metaphor. Yeah. Honestly, I mix it up all the time. But for pagans and like you know.
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh, that's
It's
a
actual
lot of
people.
and a lot of religious texts. Saint George was famously known as a dragon slayer, meaning he killed a bunch of pagans.
Oh my god.
Are either of y'all Simpsons fans?
Oh, we watch The Simpsons daily.
yeah.
She does too with us.
Yep,
Yeah,
Amy.
I've got my Bart the Butterfly tattoo
That's
right
awesome.
here. It's hard to show you, but Whacking Day. Remember the Whacking Day episode? Because they're always beating snakes. Very end of the episode, they reveal that Whacking Day was just an excuse to beat up the Irish.
Yep.
So it's a twist on the St. Patrick's Day like mythology, and Simpsons did it first.
They do.
Always.
They have a mind reader or what do you call it? Fuck,
Prophetic.
I can't think of the name of it. A time traveler. I guess.
Fortuitous.
Yeah, fortuitous
Yes,
premonitions.
he's a
Well,
premonitionist.
Futurama's doing the same thing too. They had an episode about President Nixon building a whole wall around the planet so that alien immigrants can't come in. Like Matt Groening has just been on it
Wild.
since birth.
Well, the only thing is that some of that stuff, like if you look a little further, has always been around. Like some of it's not even like a secret to anybody if you just pay attention to certain things. Like one of the things that people didn't remember is that not to get before we get into this whole thing, but like the whole thing of them predicting Trump's presidency. It's not the first time he's ran for president. He's done that a million times.
Yeah,
Right.
it's his first time it stuck.
Yeah.
And they had a
That's-
great joke about it because Lisa is like president after him, and she's like, so we inherited quite the budget crisis from the Trump administration. It's like, Lisa, how right you were.
Yeah. But like some of the stuff like has been in history before, so history does repeat itself to a degree. So some of it I don't see as prophetic. Yeah.
Financial crisis.
It's all thanks to
We've
Bush.
always been in a financial crisis.
We've done been than that.
The call has always been coming from inside the house.
If we wouldn't
Actually, we have a question for y'all. Out of a few certain monster serial killers, which one do you think could survive like an encounter with? Like, which one do you think? Like, out of like Jason, Freddy, or like Michael Myers, like who do you think you could survive an encounter with?
Ooh,
That's a tough one.
that's a really good one.
Well, Jason would get me real quick because I already know if I'm in a slasher movie, I'm gonna die doing drugs, skinny dipping. Like that's just my character. I already know. I might make it second to last, but
But Amy, no, you're supposed to say we love premarital sex.
Thank you, Jason X. You are way
so good.
better than people say.
Fucking so many gems in that movie.
I'd probably
It's
have to say
amazing.
Jason.
You think you could survive a Jason?
Yeah.
See, and I want to be like more like obscure and be like, I think like oh man,
A pumpkin head?
something
Ooh.
or like
Melon heads.
like Predator. Be like, I think I.
You think you could
dip-
survive
I think I could-
Predator?
I think I could dip on the Predator.
You're gonna fight Predator?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
There's
I wanna
something to
challenge
do.
myself
Put your
here.
weapons down and look as weak as possible so you're not interesting. There's a
Or
formula.
like jump.
Yeah,
and, like,
doo-doo on
launch
yourself.
it,
He'll feel
be
bad
like,
for you.
I'm not thermal, and then do
Or
exactly
be
what Arnold
pregnant
does.
and he'll back
Yeah.
off.
See, for you,
I feel like I could definitely beat a Michael.
He backed off.
Yeah.
I definitely could be a Michael Myers because that's just a guy, and I could kill a man. He's just a dude.
That depends. Like, what era Michael Myers? Are we
Like
talking
first, like
Halloween
first,
1
like
and
first
2?
one.
Are we
Yeah,
talking
like first one before he got
4, 5,
powers.
6?
Before they gave him
Halloween.
superpowers.
Okay, so pre like H2O.
Yeah.
No,
Standing
wait.
at Buster Rhymes did a spinning like back kick to his face.
He did. Sorry, my
See, like,
Halloween
I could probably
timeline. I
punt
was
Chucky
raised
pretty
13
far.
girls, so
Yeah, Team
I could definitely
Jason.
beat Chucky would be
Yeah,
nuts.
like if we're gonna go that route, I'm gonna punt Chucky and like
Yeah, just-
Let's
evil,
say,
like the
just
Evil Dead
have your
stuff.
best
Like,
drop kick ready.
yeah, right. And also,
Oh,
like
God.
that shit never made sense to me. He wants to get back into a human body, yet clearly he's invincible and stronger than any man.
Right.
as
would
a
you be
doll?
Human?
Well, that's the conclusion he comes to at the very end of Seed of Chucky. He's like, wait a minute, why would I want to change this? Like, I'm Chucky the Killer Doll, and I fucking dig it.
He embraces
had
it.
a
Seed of
wife.
Chucky, so transgressive.
The bride
Yeah,
of
he-
Chucky.
I've only seen like the first 2, I think maybe. I don't know if I've seen the Seed of Chucky.
The Seed of
That's
I'll bring,
just a
I'll bring the
weird
whole
name.
set
Why would
over.
they call it that?
And he put his
I'll
seed
fill
in
it
his
in for you.
wife.
It's true.
This is the truth. We only speak the truth on these podcasts.
But yeah, so I could beat a Michael Myers. I definitely could beat that. Just kick him down the stairs, but like make sure he fell real good. Hobble
If I
him.
was a
That's all I'll do.
better
I'll misery his ass.
If I was a better runner, just in much better shape, I'll bet I could maybe outrun Leatherface, because that chainsaws are heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I could
and also
get
half the time
good
he's going like,
endurance.
Right. You know where he is all the time too. It's a little
yeah,
easier.
he's doing his whole little like dance or
Yeah,
whatever the fuck you want to call
no.
it.
He's in
He's doing
scary
his little dancing
Texas. Just work around that.
And also,
go
he
to
seems like he
Oklahoma.
could be. Also, he seems like he could be like negotiated with because like he's just taking orders from his wacky brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could just be like, "Hey, bud, I'm kind of bored. You want to get burgers?" He'll probably be like, "Rrr," and like fucking drop his chainsaw and like go to the store with you or whatever. Like he's just probably a simple man, simple pleasure. He'd be like, "Yo, man, you want to grab some brewskis and like some hamburgers?" He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm down, dog." And
I
you're
think-
friends,
I have to
and now
ask
you're
the
friends with a guy who can wield a chainsaw real good.
I think I could outsmart a bunch of the people in The Hills Have Eyes too.
Oh, for sure.
I think I could definitely.
It's just the sheer number of them. That's the only thing. Do
You
you
just
have
be like-
2 German Shepherds?
You just be like, "Who wants dental?" And they'll be like, "Yeah."
Hey. Hey, what's up, guy? I got a club foot. What's going on?
I got a club foot, a club mouth, a clubbed hand.
I don't see very good. I can smell you though.
Yeah. Right? Just like order a pizza. That might sway them. Like no one's ever tried that.
Yeah, nobody's ever tried like the
Very true.
very like wholesome approach.
Like, hey, do you
like,
want to join me
hi.
for some food?
I'm with
That's
the
actually one of
Mormon
my-
church.
That's actually one of my favorite books as a kid. It was a book called Thomas and the Ghost, where it's like a spooky ass ghost story book. But this one kid's like, he like is on like a trip and he like goes into this abandoned mansion and like he's like, if I'm gonna be here, I might as well just make myself some food. And he's like making soup and like this ghost starts like running through the kitchen and shit. And the whole time is like, look, if you keep running around like that, you're gonna make me like spill shit in the kitchen. Like, relax. And then by the time the ghost, like, because he's like assembling himself every like couple of like paces. Once he fully forms himself, he's like, cool, now that you're a person, want to sit down and have some food? And the ghost is like, no one's ever let me just like fully transform. You're cool, kid. Here's gold. And I always love that story. It's like, hey, man, like, you can win people over if you just like keep your cool
Just
and like
don't
offer,
be
Gotta
a dick.
stay calm.
Come on.
offer them some food at the end of the day.
Mhm.
I mean, none of the bad movie guys, like, they're not all too smart, really.
Nah.
I mean, I feel like if you just don't use movie character logic, they can all be beaten.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so true.
How do you guys feel about the M. Night Shyamalan movies?
Which ones?
So, let's see. The Happening.
Ooh.
That one I liked a lot. What was the other one?
In theory, that movie is kind of cool. In
I
execution,
agree, yeah.
Garbo.
Is it Old? Is that the newer one?
I haven't seen that one yet.
I think that is an M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, I think so.
Very silly.
Fuck, there's another one too.
What's that one that's like about the elevator that's real shitty?
Oh,
Devil.
yeah.
Devil.
I was gonna say I didn't hate it though. I actually kind of enjoyed it.
It gets almost
The
all right
concept's
in like the
cool.
last like half of the movie, but like the lead up to where it gets good is not worth it.
No, I agree with that too. Like the concept is awesome, but it is not that good.
Yeah.
I guess
the
I have high
toast.
hopes for the newest. I think M. Night Shyamalan made the one that just came out in theaters about the cabin where the family has to sacrifice one of them.
Door.
Yeah.
Batista's in it.
Like
Yeah,
knock homophobia, we won't allow it here.
Yeah, I heard bad things about it, to be honest, but I don't know because like I heard bad things about Old, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really cool concept, and it
I
was
think if
really
you
well
hear
done.
follow your heart.
bad reviews, it's probably a good movie.
But that's Rotten Tomato and bullshit like that for you though. Like,
Oh yeah, no, there's tons of movies like that we like. Amy, half the movies that we've like enjoyed have had like weird like 2-star reviews on most of these sites.
Yeah, and people
and we
are,
watched
like,
them and
really
they're
dogging
amazing.
them.
Yeah, people, I think, I don't know. I feel like some people just make careers over shitting on things, and it's like I'm going to talk about the
True.
shit that I really love, and
That's what
you
we
know
do.
what? Every movie is a miracle. It is so hard to make a movie.
Yeah,
Well, that's why.
Their first
That's why.
movie in film.
That's our
just
guiding
complete
principle
and utter
in our show.
garbage.
Because there's a clear difference
Garbage.
between a bad movie that we've seen where people are trying their best and making what they can with it. We love that. But we can
love
tell a
that.
movie has the potential to be good and they're just phoning it in. That's when we're like, this movie sucks.
yeah, this is botched as fuck.
Right. When you see a movie
Yeah.
and you realize that they had a lot of production money and you're like, this is what you did with it?
And
Yeah,
it
like
took
they
you
just
how
didn't try.
long?
This was the best you could do,
Yeah.
or
it's
you
like-
put the money
disappointed.
here.
So you
Like,
paid him all of the money to be in your movie and shit. Like Nicolas Cage is known to do that. Like being a really like mid-production value movie where he got paid
Like,
a
what
shit
is it?
ton of money. So it looks like a bunch of money went into the project, but once you watch the movie, you're like, what? They're using cardboard? Like
No, dude.
Oh, that's bad.
Honestly, though, you're right. But recently, I've heard movies that he's done, like really good horror movies that are like B tier films, basically. Like, I think one of them was called like Maddie or something.
Mandy.
That's what it was. Yeah,
Mandy is.
I heard that was good,
It's amazing. It's amazing. See,
and it's not
Nicolas
one you would just
Cage-
know of.
it's honestly go into that movie blind. I'm telling you, it's so
Yep.
good. It is very outside of the box, and I mean, I think Shirley put it really well on the show Community. Nicolas Cage is basically a Cenobite, angel to some, demon to others.
Yep.
He's both and neither. So he is both the best actor and the worst actor you've ever seen.
Well, what's funny is that he's
Yeah.
self-aware of the way he is in movies. That at a certain point, he knows to act like that in movies now.
Right.
Yeah.
like straight up. I think he was in when he was talking about when he did the Spider-Verse. He straight up in the series. He literally said, "So how Nicolas Cage do you want me to act?" He knows he knows what he's about.
Well, the whole movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, so funny. Him and Pedro Pascal are just perfect for each other. Such amazing chemistry. And it also just, he makes all these really amazing references to his own stuff and his own career. Like he's talking about, it's like, oh, I was going to get a belt buckle. And they asked if I wanted a bee on, and I said, no, not the bees.
Did he talk about how cool Ghost Rider was and how he shouldn't have made the sequel? I will die in that hell.
I imagine that was a contractual obligation.
Ghost Rider 1 is so fucking cool.
It is.
And that's again an example of a movie that's not good, but they had so much fun making it.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's shit we're here for.
That's the point. They're just like, we want to make more money on the first one, so we're gonna make the second one terrible, so no one watches it, and they'll just go watch the first one.
Bro, the movie Knowing, so good, but like, it just, I don't feel like it was executed properly, and I don't think that was his best work. But it was such a cool concept for me.
Is that the one with the people seeing demons? No, that's
No, Knowing's like the end of the world.
That's right.
No,
Okay,
like
that one.
when the end of the world is coming,
Yep.
and like, is there anything like humanity can do? Like, really cool concepts, but again, definitely studio interference, like blowing
Yeah.
it up, trying to.
Oh yeah.
Executives don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, a lot of good movies like that have that unfortunate flaw.
It's so tragic too, because I was like, this could have been so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Or they
good.
try to make sequels out of everything. They try to make
Yeah.
another one. The most egregious one I ever saw was do you remember the movie The Boy?
No, I don't think I
Yeah.
saw one.
So spoilers for The Boy.
Scary doll.
You think it's a scary doll movie. Turns out it's
yeah,
actually
yeah. I have
there's
seen
actually
it.
a guy in that's been living in the walls of this house the whole
What
time
the
that's been
fuck?
actually doing everything. And that's the big reveal at the end of the movie. The guy like bursts through the wall and like tackles a guy, and you're like, oh shit, there's been a guy like actually stalking this woman the whole movie, not this doll.
That's hot.
Then they made a sequel where the doll's actually haunted, and it ruins the first movie's twist.
Yeah, why?
Yep, I thought the same thing.
Why would
I've
you?
watched that, and then there's also a movie that's similar to that. It's literally called The Man in the Wall or something like that. It's about
Yeah.
a dude who lives in the wall of this family's home, and he like takes a little bit of their food, and like they end up.
That's
he,
it.
like,
That's the
ends
plot
up
of
trying to,
Encanto.
kill them, and then they find him and like find where he's living, and like it's this whole ordeal. And
Or the movie Hush, where the girl's deaf, and there's just a dude that like is stalking her in her house too,
Yeah.
and she can't hear him, so he's just there.
Oh, or where they made a sequel to what is it? Dead Silence or whatever. No, the movie with the blind guy. They break into his house.
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe. That's so gross. They made a sequel to that and they made him the hero. That's so gross.
I was just saying that. Yeah, that movie was just like,
Because that movie is like fun and messed up, but like the scene that we all know the scene I'm talking about.
yeah,
You
I know
can't
what
make a
you're talking
character
about.
who does that in a movie the hero of another movie. You can't do that.
absolutely not.
Mhm.
I mean, I love the fact they did, but like, wow,
But it's also like gross, guys. Gross.
super gross. What happened to our camera?
I'm not sure.
Oh no, did you lose power at your place too?
Pretty faces.
The camera turned off. Oh
It
my
just turned
god!
off.
There you
I don't know
go.
what's
It's
going on.
back.
It's supposed to be new. What the fuck?
Yeah,
It looks like you're eating a corn cob.
I was
With your
about to say
microphone.
your microphone looks
am.
delicious. I hope there's butter on there.
Yeah.
Because my stand broke, so I'm just holding it at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
But I think it's about time to wrap it up. I can tell she's getting super antsy.
She's like half
Wait.
asleep on me at the same time. I have no clue what the fuck she's watching.
But we appreciate
I
you guys
trust her.
coming on to the
Of course.
podcast. We'll have to do it again in the future, of course.
Thanks for having us,
Talk
and
about
we'll have to have
movies.
you on a proper episode where we actually watch a movie.
Hell
I
yeah,
cannot
you tell
wait.
us what movie to watch. We'll watch it. And
It's
come review it with
Mystery
you.
Science Theater 3000. I don't know if that's how you say it or not, but yeah, that's exactly how it feels, and I love it.
MST3K if you want.
Yeah. If you're one of those people,
got it.
No, this is better. This is much better.
How
because
nerdy
this
do
is-
you want to go?
yeah, we'll go there. But no, if we listen, since I know you're a big Godzilla fan, next time I do a Godzilla movie, I'll be sure to hit you up.
You fucking better. That's all I gotta
Got it,
say.
buddy.
You
Godzilla.
better.
Got it.
I like Godzilla as well.
So does she.
Okay.
So it's like, bro, we could have a massive movie day.
We got it. We'll make it happen.
Fantastic. Well, if you're still watching this, all of their links you can find down below. And remember, folks, to keep your ears and eyes open for what really goes.
Bump.
Keep watching the skies.
We love you guys. You guys are the best.
All right,
I
take
love
it easy,
podcasts.
folks. Thanks for having us.
What? Dude,